It has been a dark time for our X-Men, ever since the deaths of Jubilee and Esme. Things have changed, though they are all hurt by their losses. None of them compare to Faira. She had lost the only sister she had left, and she wasn't there to save her. Ever since they had won the contest of champions, Faira has been pushing others away and not wanting to hurt others out of anger. Her team was no exception, as she decided to sneak out to take a break from the X-Men. Little did she know, Polaris followed her, as Faira swam through the oceans to find somewhere to relax. After a few hours, Faira arrived on the shores of New Zealand as she set up camp for the night, as she looks through her contacts with Azari and Asha being two of them. The next day, Faira walks around the country to see its culture and how it is so different from Atlantis's. After an hour of sightseeing, she encounters Polaris, to her surprise. Lorna questions why she left the mansion, but Faira refuses to answer. Before Lorna could pressure her into answering, the two notice a girl named Noriko Ashida running from a snake mutant named Slither. The two set aside their argument for now, as they help Noriko, as Polaris makes a barrier around herself and Noriko while Faira takes on Slither. But Faira's combat abilities are much more aggressive and not held back, as she beats down Slither even after he was down on the ground. But Polaris manages to stop Faira before she could severely hurt him. Polaris and Faris question Noriko, who calls herself Surge, as Surge reveals that there is a mutant prison hidden in a cave where Sinister has kept a few test subjects. This concerns Polaris, as she was turned into one of Apocalypse's horsemen because of Mr. Sinister. Faris simply goes to find this cave, her weapon held on tightly. Polaris goes after her, as Surge follows them. After some time, the three mutants manage to find the cave, as they find cryo chambers, each labeling a code name for each of their chamber. As Faira walks around, she sees the labels on the chambers, including one labeled Mace Storm. After some walking, they encounter Mr. Sinister once again, but he is more vulnerable after the fight against the X-Men. Faira immediately attacks him, beating him to the ground. As Polaris goes to try and stop her, a few mutants show up. These mutants are Marrow, Mammomax, and a bald woman who goes by the name Cassandra Nova. Polaris and Surge try to get Faira as they defeat both Marrow and Mammomax, but Cassandra manages to activate a door that slams shut, keeping Polaris and Surge out. Out of desperation, Lorna runs with Surge to return to the X-Mansion as she contemplates what to do to save Faira. On the inside of the cave, Faira is restrained by Mammomax, as Cassandra decides to speak with her. She knows of Faira's lineage, and that she is hiding something deep within her mind. Faira simply spits in her face, as Cassandra responds by entering her mind and making Faira watch Esme die over and over again. This causes Faira distress, as Faira activates a second mutant as parts of her body turn to diamond, giving Mammomax a little cut. Cassandra then gets closer to Faira as she simply says, "What are you hiding?" Faira remains silent until she confesses her pent-up rage and what she has kept hidden from her own team. She hates herself for not saving Esme. She loathes Rachel for letting Esme die. She hates the others for not going after Voyager and Dr. Spectrum for killing their friends. She hates that she may not be good enough. Cassandra uses this to her advantage as she uses her telepathic abilities to take control of Faira's mind and depression. Now mind-controlled by Cassandra, Faira uses her strengths to burst through the door as Cassandra Nova looks on. Mammomax, Marrow, Slither, and Mr. Sinister gather as Nova declares that it is time to initiate the Children of the Atom project. At the X-Mansion, Wolverine gets in a cab to go to Japan as the other X-Men relax. As Juggernaut watches the television in the living room, Gwenpool then brings Beak to the Danger Room to, well, you know what. Some things are better left unsaid. Emma watches the new students at the school as they learn to control their mutant abilities, and as Rachel finishes her meditation, she senses a strong presence. Emma senses it too, and realizes that something is horribly wrong.